Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today I bankrupt once again by Adam and Jake.
Hey everyone.
What's going on, y'all?
In today's matchup is me versus Adam. I'm playing Hatchhyack and Adam is playing Zamasu. I don't remember what set Zamasu, but it's the one that it wants its opponent to get to 8 energy.
That's set 7.
So there's buttons, links, subscriptions. Check them out. Let's get into this game. I got the touch base on the deck I'm playing. I actually was never a hatch player, which is very weird because I'm a prison player, so I like the idea of controlling the board. And I used to play old school 21 with the field card, so like 76 was a thing. But I never touch hatch for some reason. And I was asking Fluff and Emily about like, what should I play? And regardless of what they said, I was like, I'm really feeling hatch. Let's just play hatch.
Were there any new cards that kind of came out that made you want to play this?
No.
Leader? Okay.
It was a deck that I remember Jake playing a lot, and I think Fluff also played a lot. And I was just like, I never played it. I need something to play because I got nothing really going on. So I flipped over the leaders one day. I saw it, like, yeah, I could play hatch. And then Fluff's like, well, here's a list that did pretty well recently. And I'm like, I'll take some stuff from that.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing like an online regionals or something in June, and I was really the reason I chose this deck is I was thinking about the meta probably being full of 21s and probably Majin Vegetas, and a lot of these cards have indestructible, which means they can't leave the field. And so, the SCR for 21 doesn't affect it. But also my main goal in this deck is to either get you to...
and he cut you off real quick.
8 energy. Yep.
We catch this. I don't know what was going on. I've played hatch for 2 weeks now at the shop, and I don't know why I swung because like all night I never did that on while you're on your front side because the front side leader cannot swing as part of its permanent, and I just like swing, and then you're like, oh, you can do it. I'm like, yeah. Let me read this real quick.
No.
There will be one more goof we do catch at some point, but like we catch it like right away. I think too. I think I do something. I'm like, no way, I can't do that. And it happens on my next turn for particular reasons because your leader. So my leader awakens when I have 3 cards underneath it. Your leader awakens when your opponent has 3 energy. So you will, I think, play this. I think you do swing, get a couple attacks in, and then I will choose not to charge, and I'll kind of go over that more why. It just makes sense, I feel like, especially the deck having a lot of low-cost cards. But let's talk about your deck a little bit more and the how are you liking it for the evening? And I was just showing I forgot to sideboard the right cards.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite leaders. I like to play Majin Buu leaders, but this is probably up in my top 2 or 3 leaders. I love alternate win conditions, and like I said, I thought that maybe it was going to be a good meta call. People like to ramp energy; they like to go longer games for everyone, but red. And having Tragedy Overground, which is a field card that basically sends all of your opponent's battle cards into their energy and rest mode, goes really well with this deck. And I just thought that it was going to be something good for me to try out and, kind of brush the dust off of.
Yeah.
Interestingly, sorry.
No, go on.
I was going to say, interestingly, not the only deck playing Tragedy Overground at this event. So a lot of people are really starting to see the power of that field spell.
We actually have both Zamasu players, and you guys play 2 different Zamasu decks actually on camera this night as well. I was going to say, I tried comboing for some reason during the Unison. I don't know why. But, so, I chose not to charge, because the leader doesn't require me to have 3 energy, just as long as I have 3 cards underneath it. And I felt like what was in my hand, what I could play, felt comfortable where I didn't want to awaken you just yet. I'm at 6 life. And I just didn't feel like waking you. I didn't feel like it was necessary, so I didn't want to do it.
Well, and what's interesting about the Awaken side is anytime that I swing at a leader, I actually only swing for 10k. So the goal of this deck really is not to get your leader down to 0. It's to get them to 8 energy and send 4 to the drop or to the bottom of their deck, I think. So
and I do play 2 of the Vegetas in my Z deck, so I can, if I need to, go down to 4 life just so I can start doing like super combos and stuff. I have those there for that purpose. But what I'm doing here, even though, sorry, I'm applying pressure because I want to play a Majin Buu, because typically my turn 3 plays is I play Majin Buu, activate its main to eat a card on my opponent's field, and you see I'm about to go activate it, and then I go, oh wait, I can't, like I'll catch her in a second, and I go, oh, here's your card back. I didn't charge because I didn't want you to awaken yet.
So you don't have the 3rd energy.
Yeah, so I leave Boo on the board because he's a blocker as well, so if I feel like I need to use it as a block, I will. If not, I just keep Boo on the board for the following turn and then just turn around and words. Eat
Good old
cards.
Slug the Ghost Warrior, man.
Yeah, it's such a good effect that it's free to play by putting cards back underneath your deck, and then you immediately just activate its main to send it to drop to warp a card on your opponent's field with energy cost greater than or equal to their current energy. And since he was at 2 energy, it just kind of worked out in my favor.
Yeah, and then itself can cycle back in. So
Yes.
just really good removal all around on that card.
And it serves its purpose in terms of, like, I wanted to use Boo to eat the card, but I couldn't. So I was like, I can get around it. It's not a problem and don't need to expend any extra resources doing it. Or energy.
So now I'm at 3 energy, but I'm still unawakened. It's nice that I get to check the top 5 when I swing for a Zamasu or a Goku Black card. Helps me get what I need. But I saw my SCR like 3 times this game off the top 5, which was frustrating. But
what are you playing for your secret?
Hatchhyack. Yeah, usually I play baby Hatchhyack because if they build up a field, if they know that maybe Tragedy Overground is coming next turn, they'll start kind of comboing off their cards. So I want to stop them dead in their tracks and then hit that Tragedy Overground and get 4 or 5 in the energy.
And I think you end up swinging towards my Unison. And I think I had 4 or 5 markers on it. And I chose not to block, but then, like, literally right after you pass around, I'm like, oh yeah, I could have blocked.
Now that is a slight misplay there. I didn't. I believe that the Goku Black allows me to stand a multicolor card, but it really didn't affect the overall, state of the game. So
you would have just changed your the targets you used to
Mm-hmm.
And I would have been okay. Like, this is locals. It's not like a super big event, and if it was, that's completely different field depending on where you're at currently in the event. So I decided to go ahead and charge. I know you can get to a point where you're going to potentially start charging my own cards, but I need to get to a point where I'm able to play cards I need to play to kind of win the game. So I do swing, get the draw, and I kind of want to reset up my Z deck for furthering plays, like just in case I need to do the Zamasu.
Now,
sorry, the Vegeta.
Can you do the? Can you kind of talk about that special, either auto or permanent on Hatchhyack about kind of summoning sickness or
yeah. So Hatch's ability, its permanent, is when you swing with a battle card, you can no longer swing with battle cards energy cost 7 or less, other than the card that's currently attacking. So, like, if the card has dual attack or triple attack, they can continue swinging. But the idea then is that you need to swing. So if you have an 8-drop on board or higher, you need to swing with the lower one first to proc the permanent the effect. And then you swing with 8-drops. If you swing with 8-drops first, then you lock the lower cost cards from swinging. So you always have to, like, swing the little guys first, or guys who have dual attack or triple attacks first, and then immediately start swinging in with the big ones afterwards. Oceanus was a thing. I had more I want to do this turn, and I thought about pushing because I could benefit from cards being in my drop, like I do have overwhelm targets that I could just go, oh, cool, this fulfills the amount I need now, overwhelm. Or I have cards that can
You can potentially play more Ghost Warriors and stuff.
Yeah. And here, I think I'm looking at my drop, seeing what's in there currently. Is it worth going for the swing compared to what's in my hand? And I think ultimately I just pass in my current state. Yeah. And I choose not to play the Vegeta yet, because I feel like you're going to hit my leader. Some people have a tendency to kind of like, at our shop, go for the unison when it's there. But for some reason, I don't think I've ever had that experience with you. And then you turn around and go into my unison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I did use the one cost effect to send a battle card into your hand, and because it was a Z battle card, it just kind of goes away, which is really a nice part of that leader.
Yeah, really often forgot about effect when people are just kind of evaluating this as a strategy, and it's more relevant than it's ever been with C cards around.
Yep, and this is this coming up is the turning of the tide, if you will. So I hit 3, play this card. It allows me to ramp from the top of my deck. At the end of my opponent's turn, they reveal a top card. If it's a battle card, it goes into their energy and rest mode. If it's not, I get to draw a card, and they shuffle their deck. And so we're gonna see what that top card is.
And when we see that top target, I have a few questions I want to talk to you about. We do know your deck, the way it's going, but you hit a mono yellow card. You have blue yellows, so being able to potentially play a Flying Nimbus is great, because you always have targets to discard. You always have the energy for it. But in my experience with decks like this, like I love playing SS2 Gohan, the blue one, that will kind of ramp cards and move them around and whatnot and play with energy. But I do not. I used to play, I think it was 2 Champas originally. I built that deck, and 2 Overwhelms. And 90% of my games, I hit one of those cards on turn 2 when I did the ramp, and I was like, that's not worth it. It's not worth playing a monocolor card that does not fit the theme of this deck. Especially with the super combos you play. You play a 2-2 split, I think, because I saw the Zamasu earlier, and we see the Vegeta. And this is you just kind of ramping your Z deck up.
Yep.
Because you're like combo for 0, and I'm like, dude, that hurts.
Yeah, I actually play a 3-1 split of that. Yeah, ooh. So it was really, really bad. But I mean, I played this deck a little while back where I was using the Android 18 unison to look at the top 3 cards to make sure that I didn't ramp like that. So I obviously need to kind of take a look at my build and just see if I could tweak it a little bit to guarantee that doesn't happen again. So I do have that, the Fuse Zamasu out there. So next turn, I can go ahead and play the EX Evolve on top of it, get Tragedy Overground out. And I thought this being like your turn, well, I guess it's turn 4 technically, or no, 5, I guess. I wasn't expecting the glory that we're about to see happen on your turn. So.
Yeah. So one of the key things of this deck is that, let me tell you, I do have overwhelm targets. Early on in the game, you're putting cards into your drop. One of the fears with doing that in the past was, oh no, what if I milled a certain card? Obviously, the key card to play in this deck is Evil Saiyan, because it can be played from your warp or your hand. So I could filter around and be just fine nonetheless. I have not seen it yet, so I'm focusing on other routes, and every time I feel like you played a card that I felt like was problematic, I didn't want on the board. I want to apply pressure. You have no open energy. Now, granted, if you have a Dimension Magic, you can restand blue energy, and I know that's a threat, but when you chose to take the life for the token blocker, I was like, oh, I feel safe.
Yeah. Now, what's funny about this is I had the Dirty Burst in my hand, and I overextended, not expecting you to place as many cards that were 6 cost or more.
Yeah. Now, Dirty Burst wouldn't hit the 6 cost because Dirty Burst only hits, I think,
Yeah,
7.
7s or more.
Yeah, 7 or more, I think it was. So here I'm swinging with this to see if I can hit you for a single. You do another token negate. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna pay 2 for Evil Same from my hand, which will warp a battle card in your field because it doesn't specify. It just doesn't specify. It just ignores barrier, but doesn't specify cost. So I'm able to target your token. And then I double check here because it specifies a card energy cost of 7 or less and send it to the warp. So I had to make sure it wasn't battle card. And it, when I was reading this card, I was like, I can't read right now for some reason. Like I'm trying to read this paragraph and my vision is going blurry. And I was like, it doesn't say battle card on here. It does not say battle card. So I chose, since it being, you had 2 extra cards in your yada yada. So I sniped your token and just pretty much swung and hoped for game. If you negate it, you're killing yourself if you had Dimension Magic. So I knew I could go into the swing and just combo the world out. And there I was just kind of reading the fact, oh yeah, it's a blue energy, so I'm good.
But I have so many cards in my hand. I should be able to combo out of this.
Let's see how far you go.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Watch this. Boom. Rest nothing. Oh no, I do get to rest something. Cool. I'm not that bad of a player.
Hey, well, I mean, sometimes it's not up to you whether your opponent plays stuff or not.
Yep. 0.
I think you
0.
said 0-0.
Oh no!
Yeah.
It was fun.
So long story short, I've actually been enjoying Hatchhyack a lot, and thanks Jake for choosing this particular deck for me to play, because I gave Jake the option between 1 or 2, which was either AOD or Hatch.
Well, you're welcome, and I'm sorry.
With that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Keep in mind there's links and stuff in the description. Check them out, and thanks for tuning in.